SBM Live, subscribe. Speaking boxing. SBM Live, subscribe. Speaking boxing. SBM Live, subscribe. Speaking boxing. Kenneth, yo, let's be speaking boxing. SBM Live, subscribe. Speaking boxing. SBM.
What's going on, Kenneth? Let's get it. Let's Speak Boxing. Subscribe. Let's Speak Boxing. I'm excited about this because I haven't been able to sit at my crib and cover boxing in quite some time. I actually miss this stuff, man. You know, it's nice to sit down and cover boxing. It's not like I haven't been watching boxing. I've definitely been watching boxing, but I've been going to George the Boxing Jr.'s house and, you know, my dad's house and watching boxing with a lot of friends and family and stuff like that. A lot of great fights, a lot of great topics. So excuse me, I got to catch up. So some of this content and stuff like that is old, but it is what it is. I'm still going to get my feedback and stuff like that and play catch up. You know, there's a lot of drinking I still have to do. It's nice to sit back, not to have to bring work home and stuff like that. But you got to do it, man. Another day, another dollar. And that's all I've been doing is just grinding out. But it's good to sit back and go back to the things that keep you well balanced and stuff like that. And just, you know, cover some boxing and shit like that. And just keep things calm. But anyways, there's a lot of different fights, a lot of different topics, fights that are coming up, fights that are happening. Like I was saying, like I was previously saying, I continue to watch the boxing fights. I continue to watch all the major fights and stuff like that. It's just after I watch it, I just don't have time to sit there and post it, speak about it and stuff like that. But it is what it is. But I'm going to go back. There's a lot, you know, speak about the Frampton and Quick fight. That fight was a highly anticipated fight. I went to George Boxing Jr.'s house. Matter of fact, Leo Santa Cruz fought not on the same card, but in different countries and stuff like that. But fought the same day. And I promised myself that I was going to go ahead and create a video about it because there's so many different topics and discussions around that fight. And it's a little outrageous, a little crazy, the way everything is happening and the way these matchmakers are going about it. You know, Al Heyman and things like that. But anyways, Frampton and Quigley, as far as what happened in the fight, everyone knows. I know it's already late and stuff like that as far as this news. But like I said, I have to play catch-up, so excuse me. Frampton, went ahead and unified the IBF and WBA belts, and he won by decision. From what I recall, I remember seeing the fight. The fight was slow. It was a slow fight. I was highly anticipated. I want to see some high action-packed fight. I expected a lot more. But as far as the first half of the fight, you know, Frampton certainly seemed to be the more clear, decisive winner. You know, the rounds were just given to Frampton. You know, Quig, it seems like he wasn't active whatsoever. There was no activity from his part. So obviously, I'm going to give it to Frampton. He was completely active. It actually seemed the first half of the fight. Matter of fact, in the beginning of the fight, nobody really landed any kind of clean punches or anything like that. Matter of fact, no clean hard shots whatsoever. It actually seemed like no one landed any punches whatsoever, probably for the first 3 rounds. And, you know, after the first 3 rounds, the next 3 rounds after that, it continued the same pattern. But Frampton was just doing a little bit more, staying a little bit more active the first half of the fight, so I definitely gave him the first half of the fight. So I'm not surprised that 2 of the judges' scorecards went ahead and judged the same way. Starting into the 8th round, though, Quig actually stepped it up a notch. He started pressing the fight. Finally, he definitely picked up the pace, and he forced the fight to Frampton. And both fighters started having a better exchange. You know, Frampton actually, you know, to me, in my eyes, a lot of people thought Quig won, but I don't know how the hell that shit happened. One of the judges' scorecards, I have no idea. I even gave the fight to Quig, but I like the simple fact that Frampton was calm, cool, and collective. He actually looked good. A lot of head moving, which I like. He utilized his speed, his counting, utilized the whole entire ring, so he looked really, really good. Quig definitely started picking up and pressing the fight. He landed some big shots. Matter of fact, I thought he was going to keep it going, keep it pressing. But, you know, Frampton actually finished the fight strong and turned it up in the 12th round and effectively winning the fight. You know, he landed some big, clean shots. He neutralized Quig and basically stopped the rally that he had in the last 3 rounds, you know, the championship rounds. But the fight, in my eyes, didn't even come close. It was an easy, decisive decision. It was an easy fight to judge, score, matter of fact. But it didn't come close to the expectations. You know, me and George the Boxing Genius, we were sitting there, we were like, yo, this is going to be a good-ass fight. this and that. The first 3 rounds, we were just like, what the fuck, man? This is crazy. But anyways, long story short, Carl Frampton, you guys already know, he unified the IBF and WBA super bantamweight titles with the split decision. I have no idea why it was a unanimous decision, but judges had it like 116 to 112. I think it was both judges, and then the other judge had it for like 115, 113, which, whatever. But anyways, what's next for Frampton? This is a topic that I want to go ahead and discuss. After the fight, Frampton definitely expressed his interest and desire to go ahead and fight Santa Cruz. So long story short, he is set, I think from what I hear, he's set to fight Santa Cruz this summer. Santa Cruz, the WBA World Featherweight Champion. He's set to take on Santa Cruz this summer. It looks like Frampton's actually moving up to featherweight. But in my eyes, Santa Cruz has nothing to prove taking on Frampton. Yeah, that'll be a good fight and stuff like that. But I would like to see a possible rematch with Abner Mares. Abner Mares showed up to the Santa Cruz fight, and he's definitely looking to push. He's definitely looking interested in the rematch. But after that fight, when he went ahead and Santa Cruz definitely showed interest after fighting Frampton after he beat up on Kiko Martinez. He completely dominated him in 5 rounds, which I'm not even going to cover that fight or anything like that. So that's one of the past fights that I didn't even cover. But anyways, he completely dominated him, things like that. But after that fight, Santa Cruz went ahead and called him out and said, yeah, I'm definitely interested in fighting him and things like that. But from what I hear and stuff like that, the venue hasn't been set yet. It hasn't been finalized. Even the major broadcasting network hasn't been finalized or anything like that. But I know both fighters, both Frampton and Santa Cruz, is being advised by Al Heyman. So as far as negotiations and things like that, there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever because they are with Al Heyman. So both fighters are. So I see that fight happening. But the only issue I have, like I was telling George the Boxing Genius, where he completely agrees with me and stuff like that. I'm just like, what? A lot of boxing fans is like, damn, they get caught up in the hype and things like that, but they get caught up in the distractions. Like Donald Trump is a big distraction as well. It's like, I'm not even going to talk about that. Forget about the politics and stuff like that. But anyways, it's a distraction from the truth. Frampton, he holds both titles. He unified it. He's going to have to vacate the 2 world titles that he currently holds. But what's that mean? He's turning down a lot of potential fights. He's turning down a potential rematch with Quigg, which I definitely don't want to see whatsoever. Maybe it would be a little bit more exciting. But the exciting fight is the mandatory obligation that he has to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. For WBA. He has the WBA mandatory to go ahead and take on this guy, which, in my eyes, I honestly think Guillermo will completely beat him. I think Guillermo will beat Frampton. But the thing about it is, I think he'll beat, you have Quigg, you have Leo Santa Cruz, and you got Frampton. None of these guys show any interest, any desire, anything whatsoever. They don't even speak this guy's name to challenge Rigondeaux. He's not even in the conversations. It's like they kind of avoid this. Like they're just like, yo, please don't mention this shit. They don't even want to mention Guillermo Rigondeaux. They don't even want to mention his name. And the crazy thing about it is just like, I want to. Matter of fact, Guillermo Rigondeaux, I'm gonna start calling this motherfucker Candyman, man. If you watch old school and shit like that, you watch Candyman. I'm gonna call his ass the Candyman, man. Nobody even wants to mention his name and shit. They're scared of him. You have all these fighters making all this crazy money, making all these, they're lining up their pockets, lining up, making all these big bucks as far as opponents and stuff like that. Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, fighting all these non-worthy opponents like Kiko Martinez. Who the fuck is Kiko Martinez, man? This shit is crazy. But Diego Rigondeaux, which is a badass motherfucker who legitimately just got stripped, hasn't lost the fight. He just got stripped, for some bullshit because it's inactivity or he didn't fight the mandatory or whatever. He got set up. But he's sitting there. Everyone's lining up their pockets, having all these activities and shit like that. But he's forced to sit there and wait for like some dude in Asia to step up. But nobody else wants to step up and fight him. This guy's the badass. He completely dominated the division. Last time out, nobody won those titles over him. He was stripped from them belts. So yeah, Guillermo, he even said it himself. Guillermo was just like, look, man, I'll travel to Manchester to fight Quig. I'll travel to Belfast to fight Frampton. I'll travel to Las Vegas to fight Santa Cruz. And none of these guys, so-called world champions, these are world champions. They don't even want to speak the Candyman Rigondeaux's name, man. That shit is crazy. But anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Let me know what you guys think. Leo Santa Cruz versus Frampton. You think that fight's interesting, or do you think Frampton needs to step down and take on the big dog Rigondeaux and see what happens before he vacates that division? But anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Friend request, subscribe. Have a good one.